that I don't think that Brandon Aiyuk will be traded to Detroit. But does this add to the supply of available wide receivers and hence maybe make another wide receiver a possibility in Detroit? Because if Brandon Aiyuk gets his wish and gets traded, that's another team that won't be trading for, let's say, T. Higgins. So, again, we talk about this all the time. Supply and demand economics adds to the supply. The Lions have a bit of a demand at wide receiver. Now, just because Aiyuk wants to be traded doesn't mean he will be traded. But does that bump somebody down in the pecking order and allow Detroit to make a move for a receiver and maybe not have to give up as much?
I love hearing this breaking news because I'm hoping, the best thing is San Francisco loses him for like draft picks or something,
Right.
I don't want the Niners to get better. I want them to get worse. This makes them worse. You just read off his stats. He's one of the most important players on that offense. He's the best pure receiver they have. Debo is a mixture of a receiver and a running back. They give him the ball as a running back a lot. They throw him the ball a lot, but Aiyuk is their best pure receiver. He wants to get paid like Justin Jefferson. Whether you agree with that or not, that's just where the market is, and that's why they're at this standstill. I don't think the Niners want to give it up clearly, and Aiyuk wants that cash. If the Niners get worse, that's all I care about. This is a big deal. I bet you in San Francisco right now that he wants out. Get me out of here. I'm not playing for the Niners this year.
I'm a little surprised looking at this. The Niners do have some cap space.
Well, they also went and drafted receivers early in the draft. I felt like they knew that maybe they can get squeezed another year out of Aiyuk and then move on.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're kind of getting to the point where you can't keep everybody.
No, you can't.
And they took Ricky Pearsall out of Florida with their first round pick. So, yeah. Does he get traded is question one. And I don't know that he does, but if he does, their likely return is probably draft picks. And it waters down the wide receiver market a little bit if the Lions decide they need to make a deal. I also would love to see, San Francisco, if they fade from contention, Aiyuk could be a trade deadline deal. They're considered a favorite in the NFC, so the idea that they would fade from contention. But there's always major surprises, right?
Yeah, they're considered the favorite. In the NFC.
But there's always major surprises.
Sure, of course.
And
I think one of the reasons why they're considered the favorite, though, is because Brandon Aiyuk is on the team.
Yeah. Let me ask you another weird question. Do you think Receiver, the Netflix documentary, brought this to a head? Is it a coincidence that was released last week and he officially asked for the trade this week?
I don't. I think it's just a coincidence. They've had some issues for a while now. Do I think the show helped or hurt? I don't. I don't think it would have mattered.
Because basically on the show, it's about two other guys on the team. And it has nothing to do, why did they choose those two? Well, they're important players and they're probably personalities. But if you're Aiyuk, does it feel like these guys are getting marketed and I'm not?
It's possible.
I'm just kind of workshopping the idea here.
No, it's possible that he doesn't feel as appreciated, but I think the actions speak louder than words, and I think all he wants is his contract.
So what's funny about it, though, is when you listen to players talk and when you hear them talk amongst themselves and the stuff that they emphasize and they think about, I wouldn't count out that the TV show and seeing all the publicity that it gave Deebo Samuel and George Kittle might have bothered Brandon Aiyuk. When you hear players say, I want to be the highest paid blank in the league, it sometimes obviously is because you think you deserve it. But it usually to me feels like it's being driven by ego. I want to be the highest paid player in the league. So egos can be fragile things at the professional level. Maybe it had nothing to do with it. I just kind of wondered in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I think receivers, generally speaking, are all kind of egomaniacs because for them to perform and show their worth, they need the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They need the ball in their hands. As much as blocking, everyone loves a blocking receiver or a decoy down the field. They know the headlines are catch touchdowns, right?
Yep.
Catch first down. So, yeah, I mean, he might see that. Okay, they're focus on Debo, focus on George Kittle. If they would have paid him, I don't think he would care. Now, this might not have helped, but this could be a situation too where Chris Jones last year, didn't he want a big contract with the Chiefs, and he just basically sat out until he couldn't sit out anymore and ended up playing that year.
Yep.
So I guess, Aiyuk, who knows what's going to happen.
We talk about Detroit's window being open for a couple of years. I mean, what's San Francisco without Brandon Aiyuk?
Well, they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy at some point too.
Yep. So, is San Francisco's window even shorter? Is this it?
They've handed out some big contracts over the last few years. Bosa, Samuel.
Interesting. 248-539-9797.